You guys in the chair. Trying to figure my way around. Lay on the table today. As long as you just flat and go this way. Like I follow.
Everywhere.
Uh-oh.
They're not applied specifically for academic affairs commissioner, but there is interest out there. If you would like to, you can
Especially with this.
but don't necessarily take me away from it. Like kind but it's likely regardless of what happens, we'll have one. Like, yeah. Like, that's tough. You're good. Do it now. We will have one by at least within 2 weeks. I just don't know. Do you have a string? Do you have a string?
That's my bracelet.
That's sad. So tragic. Sad and tragic, yes.
Dana, at least your side seats at home. Very simple. We have a side seat. Yeah, and you're at the end.
Yes.
You want your boyfriend?
Do we also mention that staff can use the Bible?
Megan, that's
You have my whole entire report.
What?
You have my whole entire report. The way your reports are already in the software.
They're already what?
The way your reports are already in the software.
Yeah, because I just wrote them in the document and then I copied and pasted them into my other thing.
That's what I
But I also made sure I copied and pasted them, so while you're sitting here typing tonight, I don't have boop, 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 boop while I'm trying to read.
Sorry, bestie.
It was funny the other week. You're like, hey, Molly,
It's
stop.
like, Molly.
Okay.
It was like, I love you, Molly, but also, like, you gotta stop for a minute.
Girl, you can pop a seat next to Lexi if you want. Well, Lexi, I think your name tag's on the opposite side of William, if you want to move it.
Yeah.
Oh, me? Yeah. No, I wanted to finish that conversation. It was good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So did I. I also did not remember that that was that room. I thought it was a big, big one.
Oh, 240.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh.
I just realized I didn't print out my report. No, I did. I never took it off. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very comfortable. I said,
Do you have your computer check? Is it possible during my report that you just open my file and you can read it? Because I printed it off and I didn't pick it up.
Let me pull it up now.
okay, thank you. I open my folder.
I love your talk, Dana.
My what?
I love your talk.
Thank you.
I'm actually scared with it.
I saw it earlier from afar, but I thought it was gray. Oh, no, it's green, brown, and purple. Also, I was with someone earlier and they said, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, look, it's green. Because I was looking at Sue's sentence. She's like, I got that outfit for you. Like, oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. That made my whole day.
I'm also a big fan of Virginia's outfit.
I really like Virginia's sweater.
I'm like, there's that going on. Velvety.
Yeah, I love that.
Where's your report at?
And
Oh, present report.
yeah, it's the last one. It's 11. No, not the last. It has the date on it.
It's not 11-2?
It should be 11-2.
Yeah, that's what I opened.
Oh,
was
it
like,
went to
no,
the
no.
bottom right there?
Yeah, it's because they all end up getting arranged by like order.
Got it.
11 comes after 10, so.
Gotcha. Alrighty. My favorite part. I call this meeting to order. Are there any students to speak out tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our presentation. Oh, announcements? Any announcements tonight? Yes? Thank you. Any other announcements? Nope. All right. So tonight we have our student trustee, Mia Centino. Welcome, Mia.
Yeah, it's the one. Probably do it wrong a couple times. Only had one practice round. Hi everyone, my name's Mia. Maybe I should get that up there. I'll be updating you on the October 20th and 21st board meeting. So there are two student trustees. Again, my name's Mia. I'm a junior, so I'm the junior student trustee, and there's also a senior student trustee. She's currently traveling abroad, so I'll be presenting her slides for her committees. There are 4 committees total, and we divide them up. So I'll let you know which ones are hers and which ones are mine. I put our emails up there, and I also put my phone number. There's an office phone number. I don't know how to use the office phone, so I'd rather you just call me personally. So I'm sorry if you called in the past. But okay, so what is the Board of Trustees? I presented September, I guess. So I'll be a little bit more brief. So it's the governing body of OU. Shared governance, so we seek input from faculty, staff, and students. There are 14 members, and we hold meetings 5 times. Our next meeting's in January, and it is in Athens. Our last one was in Athens as well. And then also, if you're just interested in kind of what we're up to, trustee news, all that sort of stuff, I have the link for the website. It's super helpful. You can really get on there and figure out everything. So what is the role of the student trustee? My role is to basically communicate with you all the students, get students' perspectives, and bring them to the board. So I kind of serve as a liaison between the student body and the Board of Trustees. We serve on different committees throughout the year. A couple of them, budget planning committee is a big one, and then also Student Legal Services Board of Directors. That's kind of a mouthful. But yeah, we're on the Board of Trustees to provide that student perspective, and it really is valued on the OU Board of Trustees, so it's a very cool position to be in. But yeah, definitely want to connect with as many of you as possible. So our October meeting, as I said before, was held in Athens. It's a Thursday-Friday meeting, but we used Wednesday as an orientation for the 3 newer members, which included myself, and Cynthia Calhoun and Nancy Hammond. So we were there all day just kind of training, talking to Ohio University, staff in different positions, and just learning all about the university again, just kind of a refresher and to kind of get the broader picture. So following the Friday tour as well, following the Friday meeting, we took a tour. I'll mention the housing master plan a bit later. We took a tour of a few different types of residence halls just to help the trustees picture again what these different residence halls look like. Sorry, I cannot speak tonight. Other random tidbits that I decided to put on there. I have office hours 10 to 12. I have never had anyone come to my office hours, so you can be the first. I just had week 4 of them, I believe. So yeah, you can be the first, 10 to 12. My office is right outside of y'all's office, 301 I believe it is, but literally if you're looking at like Senate on the right, it's the little door, but it'll be open 10 to 12. Students can also come to the board meetings if they're interested. Those are open to the public. A few students come from time and time again, but if you're interested in something that's on the agenda, feel free to stop by. Additionally, the agenda is always posted online. The agenda has literally so much information on it. So if you're interested and want to see if we talked about a certain thing, you can always search that thing up. And all the old ones are posted on there as well. Yeah, those are the main things. So we'll get started. This is one of Sarah's committees, but if you have questions, just ask them at the end. But ask them, and I can get those answered for you. A lot of the time, I'll be connecting you with someone who can. Same difference. So she is in the audit and risk management committee. Presentation for that today. It's just kind of where a couple of the projects are. We didn't really get a ton of reports. I'll talk about the next slide. Those are the ones that are pending. And then we will have one finished in December 2022. So likely when I come talk to security and fire safety report was released. Had anything groundbreaking about that report. It was all pretty standard. But there is a link to that report there if you're interested in out some more and you can find this is one of my committees. I put the agenda up there. It was academics and student success, obviously, is a pretty wide range. So these are just a couple of the things that we talked about. I'll kind of highlight some main points. The first thing, we got a presentation from the Honors Tutorial College because of the 50th anniversary. HGC is close to my heart, and I know some of yours as well. We got another fall 2022 enrollment update. I'm sure you've heard probably a million times. There are so many freshmen on campus, which is extremely exciting. So with the preliminary census, 4,441. And then another main thing that they highlighted in that report that was different than the one that we got at our last meeting is that they're just OU's making a lot of investments in continued student success to see those retention rates continue to rise. You can see a little graph of our retention up until 2020. But yeah, right now, huge focus on student success to keep you here and keep you graduating and all that good stuff. A presidential search update, which is extremely exciting. So if you don't know, Ohio University, the Board of Trustees hired Collective Genius, which is a group that essentially just facilitated a lot of conversations, accumulated a lot of different data from different people. There were 23 focus groups. Looking at a lot of you, I think a lot of you were in the focus groups, which is exciting, and hopefully you got a lot of value out of those. Focus groups and interviews, and those had about 300 participants. And then there was a survey that everyone got. There were 3,175 responses on the survey. And you can see that affiliation there as well, which is really crazy. We have a ton of alumni who are very, very, very invested in the school, which is exciting to see as people who will be graduating yourselves. So we got this update. I screenshotted some of the higher things, some of the bigger picture items, and then there's also a link if you want to check out that report. The full report is posted online. Just a little reminder, there's a website with all the information about the presidential search, so if you have more questions about it and just want to check it out in your free time, feel free to do that as well. It's like attached to that link. But yeah, the biggest things were sustainable future, sustainable financial future. They wanted someone who's an effective communicator. A lot of things about long-term stability and ability to make difficult decisions. Those were kind of the key takeaways from that. Okay, next we had updates on 3 program expansions. And the goals of these are to increase enrollment on regional campuses. These are programs that are really sought after by students and they saw a lot of interest in on the regional campuses, but they hadn't been previously able to be there. So Equine Studies is one of them. And that's one that was already offered online, but it wasn't offered online on all of the campuses. So they were like, this takes no extra people. This is it makes a lot of sense. Sociology, criminology, and sociology pre-law were really, really highly, there were a lot of people who wanted to do them. I'm walking myself in circles a bit. There were a lot of people who wanted to do that major, so it made a lot of sense. And same thing with psychology. So those expanded to the 5 regional campuses. And then there are 2 new OMNI centers in the Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine, and those are the Injury and Pain Research Center and the Center for Healthy Aging. And those are both designed to obviously help our medical program and also to give back to the Appalachian community. Resources and facilities. This one also had a rather large agenda, as financials are very important. And this one's Sarah's committee as well, just so you know. So here, Housing Master Plan. Did you want to get a presentation on the Housing Master Plan?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. It got approved. Let's go. So yeah, this is the overview of kind of how we're looking right now in terms of housing. I won't talk about it too much since you all already got a presentation. Don't want to bore you. But yeah, there's the portfolio overview. Just a lot of traditional, 61% non-renovated, all that stuff. And then here are the planning principles. Essentially, the Housing Master Plan is going to keep students happy, make students want to come here, and also support the long-term stability of our school. We cannot have residence halls that are obviously have a lot of cost of deferred maintenance and all of those things. And it's also going to make these residence halls, from an administration standpoint, a lot less expensive to maintain. I just have the charts up here. I'm sure they talked about it in more detail in your individual presentation that you had, but they're minor renovations, major renovations, and then also the new construction. So I just put up there a little chart about the grand totals for those 5 buildings. That would be kind of back south, just so you kind of have an idea of what that looks like. And then back to the capital plan, which I discussed a bit at the last meeting. Excuse me, goodness. So GAM windows, Washington windows, all that sort of thing. I am skipping forward here. Let me move to what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay. Clippinger renovation, they're in stage 3 now. If you've been in Clippinger, you know they're renovating it. They're moving on to their final stage of that. The GAM and Washington Hall window replacement. If any of you had classes in Porter or anything, you can already see how the new windows are looking, and I think they look beautiful. That's essentially window replacements there as well. And then the Peden Tower roof replacement, pretty self-explanatory there. Those had already previously been approved, and then they needed increases in the totals due to cost of construction and other things of that nature. It wasn't something huge jumped out. It was this is a huge additional cost, construction and things like that. And then also other approved projects, just the one I'll highlight is campus aesthetic improvements. This is really great to recruit incoming students and also to make sure that you all are living and working in a space that is not run down, essentially. So there we go. Governance and compensation. This is another one of mine. This one, I'm going to be honest with you, pretty short. We didn't have a lot on the agenda. All of the trustees who are in this committee were advised to go through the rules and procedures of being a trustee, those different regulatory things, and look through the expectations and just provide some comments. We're always looking to make sure that those are up to date and that we're carrying out all of our responsibilities. So that's essentially the goal of that. So our next meeting, we'll have more of a discussion about it, but we did not have much on the agenda. And another thing that I forgot to mention earlier, we have a new regional trustee. We had a regional trustee who was then took a position at Boynton Ridge School, so was no longer regional trustee. So we've now replaced her with Craig Butler. He is in the Muskingum County, and I can't totally remember, Water District, I believe is where he works for. I know it's Muskingum County, and I know it's Water. That might not be the exact name. But yes, he was appointed as well, so he'll be at the next meeting. Do you have any questions? Not a super long presentation today, but definitely open to any questions that you may have.
Other questions?
So there was a couple slides back talking about there was approval for, did you go back?
Yeah. Mhm.
Was there any details given on what that would be?
One of those, you know, the gravel path that's right by Nelson Dining Hall. That's one of them. The side of Morton Hall has it like needs to be power washed. A lot of it's power washing, and it's not necessarily things that OU can power wash within like OU with OU people who work here. Like they have to hire someone to do that because they don't have like the materials to do it. So those are two examples of them, if that helps a bit.
Any other questions? Yes, Molly.
Now that you have the data from the Collective Genius survey, how is that data going to be used for the next steps in the presidential search?
That's a really great question. I won't go back to the slides unless, would you like me to?
It's completely up to you.
Okay, I'll just leave it then.
Okay.
So that data is going to be used to inform the interview process. Also, it's really was just to engage people and make sure there wasn't something we were all missing as well. I think that's a really big part of it. We were trying to get all that feedback so someone wouldn't say like something like, and we're like, oh my gosh, like that's a great point. We've never thought of that before. It's just really to inform that interview process, inform that selection process.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is kind of going back to the program expansions that you mentioned to our regional campuses.
Mhm.
Specifically in regards to the Bachelor of Arts in Sociology Criminology. And I was wondering essentially like what that expansion looks like. Are we like utilizing faculty here at OU to like now teach online classes to regional, or are we hiring new faculty? And then also how do we, was there any talk about how we see that impacting maybe enrollment here on the main campus of OU for students who might decide to go to the regional campuses instead because it's like cheaper?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a really good question, and that's not something that I heard anything about. That's something I'll look into and email you, and I'll write it down after this. But yeah, great question. It was really, there was a lot of interest in having that at the regional campuses, is what I know, and there was support from the faculty here to have that be something that's directed to those campuses, but I'm not sure exactly about the staff, so I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yes.
Sorry, I was just looking through the slides and thinking questions.
Yeah.
So with the new housing master plan, where a lot of these residence halls are going to be under minor or major renovation, I know that we've had a bit of a housing issue this year with some residence halls being under renovation. So how are we accounting for that with the renovations that are going to be in the new housing plan?
Yeah, that's a great question and something that was really thought about, especially after this year. They assumed 4,000 students each year from now on when they were building this plan. That was the assumption. So they have enough beds to accommodate that. It was a really thought out process. I can send you a couple of links to where they specifically talked about that. That would be helpful.
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
Yes.
So, all going off from the camp, I was just curious to see, so it wasn't able to get a good look at it, but when it was either major or minor. Okay, so it wasn't highlighted, I thought I saw something higher in the content.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, it's small. It's really small. Yeah.
Yes.
Also related to that,
Mhm.
I know that they have talked to us at least about renovating Boyd to kind of make it more one of those like Western, like a green
And like an engagement
engagement
on
space. Thank
West
you,
Green.
on West Green, because that is kind of like one of the only places that doesn't have one now. And I was just kind of wondering if they had a timeline for that and when they expected that to kind of be prioritized within the entire plan.
Yeah, another really great question and not something that came up in my conversations with the housing master plan, but another one I can get back to you for. Sorry about that.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on one of your first slides that sophomores should be looking at the student
Yes.
trustee. Yes.
Yes, wonderful point. So yes, keep an eye out, sophomores, if you're interested in being on the board of trustees. That's more of like a January type of thing. I know Lavina and I have been talking about, started talking about having this information session. So definitely, I'm sure when that information is out, Lavina will send it out. Or I can as well. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to come and talk to me about it. I know I was slightly confused when I was getting started with the whole process. So definitely come ask me questions. Yeah, I'm willing to share.
Yes.
And please go to Mia's office hours. It's right when they're about to serve free lunch. So
Mhm.
on your way over to UPC, just stop by and say hi.
Yeah, I have Jolly Ranchers, y'all. I have mints. I tried. I moved around my chairs. It looks beautiful in there.
Yeah.
As beautiful as it can get.
Very comfortable.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no other questions, then we can go ahead and thank Mia for coming. Thank you. Will the Chief of Staff please call roll?
President Shoulders,
Present.
Vice President Cooley,
Present.
Treasurer Robinson,
Present.
Senator Zanatelli, Senator Dickens, Senator Phelps,
Here.
Senator McCarty, Senator Thomas, Commissioner Bargainer, Senator McMullen, Commissioner Hibbs, Commissioner Gordillo, proxy, Senator Lopez, proxies in the meeting, Commissioner Gillette, Senator Bocasio, Commissioner Peters,
Proxy.
Commissioner Zarbaugh, Commissioner Lewis, Senator Tandon, Senator Farmer, Senator Davis, Commissioner Handel, Senator Spinner Smith, Senator Huntsman,
Present.
Commissioner Ajay, Clerk of Court Island.
Present.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Okay, approval of the previous meeting minutes. Is there any discussion on the previous minutes? Are there any objections to approving the meeting minutes? All right, seeing none, minutes are approved. There are no additions to the agenda tonight. No old business. First, we have Senate Resolution 2223-56, a resolution to appoint a governmental affairs vice commissioner to the Student Senate. Whereas there is a Student Senate at Ohio University, and whereas the rules and procedures state that there shall be a governmental affairs commission within the Student Senate, and whereas there is currently a vacancy in the governmental affairs vice commissioner position, and whereas applications were solicited and interviews conducted, be it resolved that Owen Viniskiwi be appointed as a governmental affairs vice commissioner for the 2022-2023 academic year, and be it further resolved that this appointment be effective immediately following the adjournment of this meeting. I am so sorry for messing up your last name. Primary sponsor, Mr. Dan Gordillo.
Dan did not send me any comments, so I don't have anything to speak for Dan.
Secondary sponsor, Miss Molly Pennington.
Now I'll speak on my behalf. So I had the absolute pleasure of interviewing Owen. Owen was just an absolute delight. We had like genuinely very good conversation outside of the interview. Owen has such a passion for governmental affairs, and I am very, very excited to see him bring that passion to the Governmental Affairs Commission and assist Dan with the big goals that I know he has. And I received the ballots.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this resolution? I will say that I got to meet Owen while he was tabling with Dan for our student voter guides on Monday, and it was a very great experience, and he has a lot of excitement towards being a part of the Governmental Affairs Commission. I reserve my time.
Speak on this, he's my intern. Just like Morgan in his short time in Senate, he has really done an awesome job. He's very communicative to me and the rest of everyone he works with, and he's very passionate about the things that he does. I was impressed with his work as an intern, and I know I'm going to be impressed with his work as a vice commissioner. So, very happy with my time.
Do I hear a motion?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to vote on resolution 2223-56. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Senate Resolution 2223-57, a resolution to appoint a senator for the College of Health Sciences and Professions to the Student Senate. Whereas there is a Student Senate at Ohio University, and whereas the rules and procedures state that there shall be an Academic Affairs Commission within the Student Senate, and whereas there is currently a vacancy in the Senator for College of Health Sciences and Professions position within the Academic Affairs Commission, and whereas applications were solicited and interviews conducted, be it resolved that Catherine Handel be appointed as a Senator for College of Health Sciences and Professions for the 2022-2023 academic year, and be it further resolved that this appointment be effective immediately following the adjournment of this meeting. Primary sponsor, Ms. Lavina Cooley.
Yeah, so I had the pleasure of interviewing Kate, and it went very well. She's previously had experience with student government in high school. She was longstanding class vice president, and then had to kind of step into the presidential position and kind of take on those responsibilities. And so, given that experience, I feel very confident that she'll be able to fulfill her duties. She's already expressed a goal to be able to connect different clubs together and like help them connect so they can host college-wide events, and rather than having a bunch of disparate like clothing drives and food drives that are happening like one after another, it makes way more sense to kind of combine those as well and like give steady communication between all of those organizations. And I'm confident in her abilities to do so. And I reserve the balance of my time.
Secondary sponsor, Ms. Molly Pennington.
Yeah, I was also in Kate's interview and I loved every minute of it. As a student in the College of Health Sciences and Professions, I am very happy with her goal of seeing clubs united. It definitely does feel like we've got just a lot going on all the time. So if we can consolidate those, that would be fantastic. And I feel very, very comfortable having Kate represent me in this body. And I was the balance my time.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this resolution?
So as you probably tell, Kate's my sister, and as Lavina sort of mentioned, Kate has lots and lots and lots and lots of leadership experience for high school. We've run lots of the same things, so I've been able to see her grow into the leader that she is now, even though it's cheesy. And I know where she lives, so if she's ever not doing something she should be, I know how to get her to do it. And her to respond.
Any further discussion? Do I hear a motion?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-58. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Class, Senate Resolution 2223-58, a resolution to appoint a senator to the Women's Affairs Commission. Whereas there is a student senate at Ohio University, and whereas rules and procedures state that there shall be senators within the Women's Affairs Commission, and whereas there is currently a vacancy for senators in the Women's Affairs Commission, and whereas applications were solicited and interviews conducted, be it resolved that Emerson Wolf be appointed as a senator for the Women's Affairs Commission for the 2022-2023 academic year, and be it further resolved that this appointment be effective immediately following the adjournment of this meeting. Primary sponsor, Ms. Megan Handel.
Yeah, so Emerson had a great interview on Friday and is the other gal I encouraged to join Senate. She already has great ideas for the position as well as lots of excitement and passion, and is really excited to get involved in Senate and be more a part of campus. She also has prior leadership experience, and based on her interview and what I already know about her, I have no doubt that she'd be a great fit for our commission and get along with the
Thank you. Secondary sponsor, Mix Nathaniel Padilla.
Before applying, Emerson has attended multiple meetings. I don't know when she was forced, but she was here to see how Senate runs, and that already shows a high commitment. She wants to advocate for social justice and women's rights, and something tells me that she's going to work very well with Commissioner Handel, and I think she's going to be awesome in this role. So that was the balance of my time.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Do I hear a motion?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-58. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? One. Resolution passes. Commission reports.
We got training. Break time. Holidays coming up. Also give us more ad campaign. Make flyers. Then I had a last week. Prevention. I end up targeting it at the
You can go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Hood.
Our voter guide tabling. We're still waiting to hear back from Dr. Heiler. I did meet with. Ask the question. Often read. Unpopular. They were unpopular. Not even toward. Also hoping to meet with the mayor soon and get involving fund, and finally our commission has decided to we're going to special student.
Yes, Commissioner Handle.
Okay, we had a commission on Friday, so we delegated lots of projects, which is really exciting. I was so pumped because there's to work on. So Kenny is starting to work on Walk a Mile in Shoe. Chanel is planning meditation night, which I know she's really excited about and has lots of passion for. That will be good. Madeline is talking to Bernie and the Open Library Display people, set up a women empowerment art series here with Take Back the Night. And then Wiley is working with all the women's sports on campus and getting meeting times so they start going to their events and attending some of their meetings just to get immersed in our community. We had our pumpkin event on Friday and then tabled on Monday for the voter guides. So we passed those out at both as well as pumpkin. Went well. We talked to lots of students. I've also made flyers encouraging individuals to send our commission email about their experiences using AmpFlow and just having periods on campus as a show of encouragement for our projects to put periods in products and all restrooms on campus. So I've emailed all of the women's orgs, all of our academic SFL senators, Commissioner Darbaugh, additionally all the directors of the centers in Baker. I have already gotten great feedback from some of the people that are helping me reach out to. I know they're going up in all the centers already. Got a response from our graduate advisor for the Margaret Boyd, so she sent me out in our weekly email. So it's getting out there, which is really exciting. Gotten a whole packet of emails from students and faculty, administration, which is very, very cool. I'm also going to lunches with candidates for the assistant director of the women's center position, so that they're like student lunches, so we can meet with candidates and tell Dr. Fowler about our opinions and what we want to see in the assistant director. So I have another one of those on Friday.
Thank you. Vice Commissioner Parker.
Yeah, so I have met with two of the academic affairs senators so far this week. Next week, you will hear my updates from the second half. So currently, our Honors Pastoral College Senator Phelps is currently working to co-host a food pantry drive that the Honors Pastoral College is going to be working on over the next couple of weeks. And so there will probably be a box in the Student Senate office. So if you have anything you would like to donate, feel free to do that. And then our College of Fine Arts Senator attended the a meeting with the firm who will be helping to kind of revitalize and reimagine what our College of Fine Arts buildings look like. There were sadly not a lot of people who were attending, but the points that did come up from people was that really they needed an updated space and they needed actually more space because there were not enough practice rooms for individuals. There was not enough work rooms for individuals, not enough places to store things that people were working on. So really trying to get that feedback to help kind of reimagine what those spaces look like. And then another idea that came up was creating space that would kind of blend all of the schools together that are underneath of the college, because right now they're very separated. You have Glidden, it's like the music building, and Siegfried's the art building, and then you have Putnam is the dance building, and they're all just kind of separated off in the little bubbles. And so when they're looking to reimagine these spaces, they're going to be looking at how we can blend and have a cohesive college experience for them. And that'll be things that we continue to have input on. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you.
Faith can answer.
Then Faith, go ahead.
Faith, go ahead.
Hey guys, responses are still coming in from our survey. We made a list of running ideas. There's a lot of good ones on there. We're trying to narrow it down, to see what we are going to do during Pride Week, just because there's so many. We have a meeting set up with the Director of Health Promotions next week to see about maybe like a queer, like sexual health fair. And we also just reached out to Campus Rec about some bathroom signage changing in King to see more, or to learn more about what that process looks like. So maybe we can also implement it on, or in other buildings on campus. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you.
I have Commissioner Gordillo's report. So he says, tabling was successful. Now looking into the fire fee with Chief Reimer. Beyond that, nothing new to report. And that's the end of his report.
Do we have a report from Commissioner Black? Senate committee reports? Yes.
Sorry, I'm trying to find them all. Where did they go? Okay. Yes. So I have a couple of reports tonight. The first of which is from the Leadership Development Committee. We met last week for our first meeting, and we'll be meeting this week and then another couple of weeks left in this fall semester. Currently, our main focus right now is working on determining in-services for the spring semester. So some of the ideas that we've already had include some Green Dot bystander intervention training, some resume and such or wage negotiation workshops for individuals, utilizing the campus centers for microaggression and diversity trainings, and potentially also working with Athens Mediation for some conflict resolution trainings as well. All of those skills are skills that we as leaders on campus should know how to do so we can better help other people also know how to do those as well. We're hoping to have a finalized plan at least by the end of this semester and hopefully have those on people's calendars to be able to plan around. As members of the body, you do have to attend at least 2 of those in-services, but we'll have a wide number of them and we'll have them kind of staggered at different points throughout the semester to best accommodate everyone's schedules. The committee is also going to be discussing a conference that interested members of the body may apply to attend. So once we have more finalized information, we will share that with the body and be on the lookout for the application for that. And then finally, the committee is going to be working with Eric Bouchard, who is the Executive Director of Government Relations here at Ohio University, to help with the logistical planning of our DC advocacy trip. Each year in the spring, typically around March, we take a advocacy networking trip to Washington, DC to help advocate for issues that are affecting students on campus. And that helps to kind of connect with our senators, with lobby groups, all of that kind of stuff. And so we'll be coordinating with Eric Bouchard to help us out with that. The application for that trip will be coming out in early spring, so be on the lookout for that. And then also be thinking about what things you may want to advocate for on the national level that would impact students and the university, because that is like a component that the committee will be taking into consideration when we look at applications. And those are the end of my reports.
I don't have any. Does anyone else have any university committee reports? Those who are appointed to a university committee, have you responded to those emails? Yes? Okay. Good. Move on. President's report. Lavina.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, you do this.
Thanks. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Hi, everyone. I hope you all had a fun and safe weekend, but it's the 11th week of the semester. This fall has gone by so fast, and I'm so proud of all the things that we have accomplished together. I should have some updates to share from our safety walk by the end of the semester. There's a couple more conversations that need to be had till I can share. But as Megan mentioned, the OntFlow project is being collaborated on, and will be distributed our final findings to university leadership by the end of the month. So we're really excited with all the support that we've gotten and how much students really want this on our campus. So we're excited about launching this project and hopefully getting some good feedback from it. Please remember that we bring presenters in front of you to ask meaningful questions, learn more about our university, and bring up relevant concerns of your constituents. If you have follow-up questions, please reach out to exec or the presenters directly. You are all representing others who cannot be here tonight, so please keep that in mind during our discussions. A reminder to take care of yourself in these next few weeks. Set aside time for self-care, reach out to your friends, and take a break because burnout and seasonal depression is real. So if you need help, advice, or to be connected to a resource, please feel free to reach out to me. And that's the end of my report.
For mine, so we are starting to wrap up the fall semester, and I do encourage everyone to take a look back on what you've done and worked on over the last several weeks. Oftentimes we get bogged down in the many things that need to be done, and we start to lose focus on the successes that we've had, but successes can be very powerful, and it's important to appreciate those and utilize that momentum for help get us in future activities. I mean, we've done a lot of planning, we've done a lot of preparation, we've increased student wages on campus, we've got this whole initiative right now to help get more equitable access to menstrual products on campus. We've done a lot, and I just want everyone to be kind of proud of what you've done and also kind of utilize that to kind of move yourself, especially as we kind of move through this a little bit more stagnant, a little bit more difficult period of the semester. Similarly, with fall semester beginning to wrap up, the leadership team is beginning to invite presenters to our spring meetings. So if there's anyone who you feel should present to the body or anyone who you think students would benefit from hearing answers to their questions, please let the leadership team know so that we can invite them. We are inviting Elaine Getz at Commissioner Hibbs's request because we think that is a very valuable resource for students to hear from. And so we're definitely open to all ideas that you may have. Just please let us know so that we can put them on the schedule. As a reminder for the commissioners, I will be doing transition report check-ins at the end of this semester. I will have more information about that in your one-on-one agendas that I've begun to send out. And if you haven't received those yet, you'll receive those out by tomorrow or Friday, depending on when you are in the week. And we'll talk more about those in depth during those one-on-ones. And then finally, for all members of the body, please keep reaching out for Senate and attending student org meetings that fall beneath your commission. While it's important for us to get feedback from students, we can't nor should we expect them to always come to us with their feedback. And we also can't expect for them to provide us with feedback if they don't know who we are. Attending those meetings helps you get to know your constituents better, helps you develop a relationship with them, and then also be more aware of things that are happening on campus, even when that's outside of your immediate circle that you're used to. So it helps bring in a diverse perspective of viewpoints, and also it puts you in more circles to advocate for your commission and help fill in your commission. We have a lot of commissions who are in need of support because there's only so much that we can do, and getting your face out there and talking to people is the best way to fill these seats, because otherwise folks don't know who we are and they don't really think we do anything. So definitely talking to folks is a big motivator to get them here. And that is the end of my report.
Go ahead. Like Commissioner Ajay said earlier, these SAC information sessions that will be coming up are an amazing opportunity for students to gain more knowledge of SAC, our proceedings, but also who we serve. Additionally, it's an outlet to spread more information to increase our overall involvement within SAC, so we're able to increase the capacity of guidance that is applied to our decisions. Feel free to attend yourselves if you're also interested in maybe joining SAC. But please also, once you see things like come up PR-wise, please forward them to your respective communities and interact with it socially, as it's something important that the whole student body should be informed about. Again, the info sessions in person are November 9th at 2:30 p.m. and November 10th at 11 a.m. Continuing on, semesterly funding is coming up, and I just want to give a little blurb about that. So if you're in any other student organization outside of Student Senate, it is something that is very important to mention. Just because semesterly funding is an opportunity for student organizations to apply for funding that is geared towards their own programming with no cap. So there is no cap on the amount that you can receive, and it happens once every semester just because it is applied for the following semester. So anything that is applied for through this application will be applicable for spring 2023. When I say no cap, I say no cap, and that's important just because our biweekly funding application has a cap of $1,500. So for organizations who are thinking of putting on more larger events, this is something that you're going to want to partake in, just because this is where we're going to review them. If they come in through our biweekly funding cycle, we can't simply help you to the capacity that we want to, just because there is a cap on that funding cycle. So definitely share that with your student organizations, and that's available for any student organization on this campus. Does not matter, any student org. Additionally, there is a Rusk College mini grant. There's an opportunity available for Rusk College students that are involved within any student organization. The Rusk College Belonging Mini Grant is an opportunity for any student organization to apply for additional funding if they have a Rusk College student that is involved within their organization. So the organization does not need to be directly within the college. They just have to have a student within the college submit the application for that organization. Student orgs can benefit from up to $200 for applying for an event that encourages diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, and belonging. Applications, however, are more favorable if they contain advances within the Rusk College community. But for more information or where to find the application itself, I'll personally be providing more information through SAC's Instagram account at OhioUSAC. And if you're not following, please do, because we have like 200 followers, and that's crazy because there's more students on campus. So please follow us. And there will also be more information on the Campus Involvement Center's website. I also have discretionary purchases to announce. So based on supplies like shipping delays and different things like that, different supplies for the pumpkin events I did have to purchase from my discretionary. So from Kroger for the mini pumpkins, which I got a really good deal, but we ended up spending less than we allocated towards that, and we spent $57.25. And then from Walmart for the candy and paintbrushes, $36.41. And with that, we can go on to the numbers. Oh, there are also pumpkins in the office, so if you want one, please take one, because if not, they're going to get moldy and they're going to get thrown away. So for the Senate total, we have $44,276.85. Allocated not spent, $11,139.80. Not allocated nor spent, $33,137.05. SAC total, we have $273,334.96. Spot, $270,110.43. And then for U Fund, we have $3,224.53. And these numbers are true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. And with that, that is the end of my report.
Hi, everybody. So my regular weekly reminder, clock your office hours. And if you gave a report for the first time tonight, make sure you email your report, just like what you said, to the Senate email so that I can put it in the meeting minutes. Commissioners, please start sending to the Senate email your attendance reports for commission meetings. Your vice commissioners and your senators can get points if they're not attending your commission meetings. So please let me know if you have any that aren't attending so that we can document that accordingly if they have an unexcused absence. Additionally, just as a reminder, if you have any legislation that you want to submit to the agenda, it has to be sent to me before 11:59 p.m. on Friday, and it'll be put on the agenda the next Wednesday. So keep that new deadline in mind. Also, please send me any legislation, reports, etc. to the Senate email. If it goes to my personal email, it gets buried in all of the other emails that I receive every day, and also the rest of the leadership team can't see it if it gets sent to my personal email. So please send it to senate@ohio.edu. CC me if you want to, that's totally fine, but the direct recipient needs to be the Senate email. Also, I know y'all see me like getting up and flitting around with the microphones. We only have 2 right now, so do me a favor, and when you're giving your reports, speak up, because sometimes those on Teams can't hear us. So I'm working on getting another microphone so we can have one pointed that way and another one pointed that way. But I'm not sure when that'll be. So in the meantime, just plan to project and speak up so that everybody can hear you. And then finally, finals are rapidly approaching as well as winter break. So please make sure you're taking care of yourself, scheduling in some self-care among the studying and the cramming for exams. But the finish line is in sight. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So just keep going, power through. We're almost there. And with that, that is the end of my report.
Hi everyone. Sorry if it kind of cuts out or not, but first things first, just a friendly reminder that anything Senate related that's going to be promoted or handed out, just make sure that it goes through me, even if it's already created and stuff like that. Just a quick send over or a text, just that way I can approve it and or add the Senate logo. That'd be awesome. Try and start sending it through my Senate email, senate.pr@ohio.edu, but if you forget and send it to my personal, that's all right. Just send me a text if I don't respond within the day. For right now with the Instagram, I'm in the process of putting all the amazing voter guides that were made into an Instagram post and a newsletter for the students, just that way it's also in one singular place. Lastly, be on the lookout on the Instagram for like stuff about Dad's Weekend. Hope you guys have a fun and amazing Dad's Weekend, but also just be aware and be there for friends and peers who might not have the same relationship with their dad or some form of father figure within their life. This weekend, and same with like Moms and Parents Weekend, can be hard for some people, so just be there for everyone. And if any of you guys ever need anything or just need to talk, especially with this weekend, my phone number will be in the meeting minutes. But have a great rest of your week.
All right. To always sound like a broken record, we are still looking for 3 more associate justices, and that application is still up on our Bobcat Connect page. And now to announce the office hours for Chief Justice and Soren Starkey and M. So Soren will hold his office hours on Wednesdays from 9 to 12. And then Executive Justice M. Marla will be holding hers virtually from 1 to 2 on Mondays, but will also be in the office from 9:30 to 10:30 on Wednesdays. So if you see them, say hi, introduce yourself so they can also get to know you. Just a little reminder to send any RMP changes to JP 2 weeks in advance for sufficient time for discussion on the matter. And if revisions are needed, it won't affect like from it being added to the agenda, since we only have a few more weeks left of this semester. The judicial panel is bringing back the index of commentary, which was got rid of 3 years ago. But this means that if you guys were ever curious about why JP wanted to make an RMP change and stuff, you guys will be able to actually read our thought process. And point removal legislation is also being revised still, but we hope to have that to y'all in a few weeks.
Everyone on judicial panel, and I mean everyone, is working on election change legislation. So please expect to see that like very, very soon. And then lastly, next week, like I've mentioned the last few weeks, y'all will be able to start forming tickets for next school year. But also if you have any election questions, don't be afraid to ask me, Soren, or Em whenever we're in the office. And with that, that's the end of my report.
Good evening, everybody. Just a quick report tonight. As you all know, next Tuesday is Election Day. If you live on campus, all Athens campus students, should have gotten an email today from our office related to address verification letters. If you live on campus, if you live in residence halls, you will get an address verification letter that you can use in addition to a photo ID to vote if you're registered in the city of Athens. Those letters will come out tomorrow morning sometime between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. You need to print those off if you're going to vote in person. They do not accept digital copies of those, so be sure to print those out. Students who live in residence halls, if you live in Boyd and Brownlee, you go to the Presbyterian Church up on Court Street, corner of Court and Washington. And if you live in all other residence halls, you'll vote in Baker Center room 240, 242, okay? And there's information about off-campus students as well about where they can look up their polling locations. So if you have friends that are off campus, direct them towards that website. If you have friends who live on campus and they claim that they didn't receive their letter, they can come to our office in the Dean of Students office, 345 Baker Center, between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Tuesday, and we will print off your letter or their letter. And with that, I hope everybody had a safe and happy Halloween. Good luck with the rest of the week.
Hi, everybody. The one thing I wanted to mention is that there is a new Veterans Lounge opening up in Baker Center. And so for those who are not aware, there was some space that was shared in Bromley and wasn't as functional, I think, as it could be for our vets. And so the new space is actually in Baker, the hallway behind the Veterans Center. So that lounge will open up, and there's a opening ceremony November 10th from 10 to 12, and it's open for folks to come stop by and support our veterans. So it's really exciting. Happy Dad's Weekend for folks. And partake on some of the activities going on over the weekend. So there's some whole campus rec things happening. So check out the website.
Quick report from me. Thank you, everyone, for finishing your anti-hazing training. I appreciate it. Thanks all community center members. Yay. As always, continue to outreach. If you need help figuring out who you should be talking to, don't be afraid to ask me. You know, my door's open. I'm more than happy to talk to you because we are still conducting interviews and will continue to do so as long as we close the applications. Like I said, I uploaded a document on All Tech Connect of the open positions. So if anyone's ever curious, you can definitely go look at that rather than opening up a new application and starting a submission. With the semester slowly coming to an end, it's coming up. I will be getting ready to advertise the internship program once again. I don't know how many interns I'll be bringing on. It just depends on how many of my current interns return. But if you have any feedback on the internship program, especially if you have an intern, please let me know. I'm always looking to make it better. And then lastly, if you need anything from me, as always, you can message me on Slack, email me, or barge into my office whenever I'm in as an future loader. But with that, that's the end of my report.
Are there any objections to adjournment? Any abstentions? Meeting adjourned. I mean, if they have something to get off their chest, you know.
Well, that's an objection. That's not an objection.
Oh, I guess that's true.
I was
gonna say, I'm like, hasn't Andrew like objected?
I did, but as a joke. I mean, I still did it. It was after a really long meeting to do. Everyone looked at me and was